Anxiety taught me what it meant to feel completely invisible in a world full of noise. My name is Cole Jennings. I'm 37. I live in a quiet neighborhood called Crest Hill Park, just outside of Asheville, North Carolina. From the outside, everything looked stable. I had a job at a local auto shop, paid my bills on time, kept the lawn trimmed. No one ever saw the war going on behind my eyes. They just saw the man who nodded, smiled, and kept moving. But what they didn't see was the silence I drowned in every night. The kind of silence that doesn't soothe. The kind that screams. That was my real home. A quiet apartment with one chair, one plate, and 1,000 unfinished thoughts. I had been alone before, but this was different. This was isolation wearing a smile. I stopped calling friends back. I turned down family dinners. I built a routine not for peace, but for survival. Same breakfast, same route to work, same playlist. No surprises, no emotion, no risk. It started after my father died. He wasn't a perfect man, but he was the only constant I had. When he passed, it felt like someone unplugged the world and left me in the dark. No final words, no closure, just silence. That grief didn't show up with tears. It came like a slow leak. I stopped believing people cared. I stopped trusting that I mattered. I didn't even realize it, but I was vanishing from my own life. No one really talks about what emotional abandonment does to a man, especially when it's invisible, especially when you're told to be strong, especially when you don't even know how to ask for help. I started hearing this voice in my head that said, "You're not enough, you never were." And after a while, I believed it. Anxiety became my closest companion. I didn't call it that at the time. I just thought I was weak or broken. I never knew the word for what I felt. I just knew I couldn't breathe some days. Then one night, everything broke. I was driving home from work, rain pouring, headlights blurry. I pulled over near an old gas station and just sat there. Couldn't move, couldn't cry. I felt like a ghost in my own skin, like I didn't belong anywhere, not even here. And then something happened. It wasn't some grand revelation. No bright light, no voice from above, just a moment. A moment where I realized that if I didn't change something, I was going to disappear completely. That terrified me more than the pain. So I did one small thing. I got out of the truck and walked. In the rain, no destination, just forward. That became the habit that saved me. Every morning after that, before work, I walked. 10 minutes at first, then 20. No headphones. No phone. Just me, my breath, and the sound of my feet hitting pavement. That walk became my anchor. It didn't fix me overnight, but it gave me a place to start, a place to feel real again. People underestimate how powerful one habit can be, not for your schedule, but for your soul. Little by little, I started rebuilding. I showed up to work a little more awake. I ate something green. I called my sister back. I stood up straighter. I didn't feel better right away, but I felt alive. And that was enough to keep going. Being alone didn't break me. It taught me who I really was when no one else was watching. It forced me to look in the mirror and ask the questions I had avoided my whole life. Do I matter? Am I enough? Can I fight for myself even if no one else does? Turns out the answer was yes. But only because I stopped waiting to be rescued. I stopped expecting the world to see my pain. I learned to stand, even if I had to do it alone. There were still days where I fell back into the silence. Days where the apartment felt colder, where the walk felt heavier. But I kept showing up. That's something no one ever tells you about healing. It's not loud. It's not cinematic. It's just you, doing the right thing when no one's watching. Somewhere along the line, I stopped asking for life to get easier. I started asking to get stronger. The anxiety didn't disappear, but I changed the way I met it. I stopped treating it like an enemy and started treating it like a message. like a warning light that something inside me needed attention. I didn't need to be fixed. I needed to be heard. And for the first time, I listened. I remember the first time someone at work said, "You look different lately." I just smiled. Because they didn't know the war I had fought in silence. They didn't know how hard I had to fall to find solid ground again. Healing wasn't a breakthrough. It was a series of small victories. Choosing water over whiskey. Choosing to text someone back instead of disappearing. Choosing to sleep instead of scrolling. Choosing to walk in the morning even when it rained. I built myself back not with motivation, but with repetition. I didn't want to become someone else. I just wanted to become someone I could live with, someone I could trust, someone I could look in the mirror and not turn away from. That's what anxiety tried to steal from me, my self-worth. But that's also what it gave me in return, clarity. Now I live a quieter life. I still work at the shop. I still live in Crest Hill Park, but it's different now. I laugh a little easier. I speak up when something doesn't feel right. I check in on my friends. I make time for myself. And most of all, I remind myself every single day, I'm not broken. I'm rebuilding. That's the message I wish someone had told me sooner. That you can be in pieces and still be worthy. That you don't need to be healed to be whole. That standing alone doesn't mean you're lost. It means you're learning how to lead yourself. There are millions of men walking around with invisible pain. Some were abandoned. Some were never taught how to love themselves. Some are just tired of pretending. But here's the truth. Silence doesn't mean weakness. It means you're still holding on. And holding on takes strength most people will never understand. I'm no hero. I'm not special. I'm just a man who got tired of being a ghost, and I decided to show up for myself. That's it. That's the whole secret. If you're in that place right now, that quiet, invisible storm, I want you to hear me. You are not the pain. You are not the thoughts. You are not the mistakes. You are what survives. You are the breath after the breakdown. The heartbeat that keeps going when the world goes quiet. You are the one standing in the ashes, ready to build something new. Maybe you don't feel ready. Maybe you don't feel strong. That's okay. You don't have to feel it to be it. You just have to keep going. Stand up. Even if it's shaky, walk. Even if it's slow, speak. Even if your voice cracks. Because this world needs more men who fought alone and lived to tell the story. I'm one of them. And now, it's your turn. Cole Jennings,